Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for you. Repeating where you at, folks. This is man Lower George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we just had one of the biggest weekends for bodybuilding. That is New York Pro. As you know, it's a show that's promoted by Steve Weinberg and his wife Bev Francis, the woman who changed the sport of bodybuilding for women. So we're gonna do. This is our critique of the show. I watched it, the live stream. I am a fan. I try to watch these live streams as often as I can, especially shows that really interest me. I know we got a show coming up this weekend. It's the Ultimate Classic. It's run by the same promoter that kicked out Women's Physique from the St. Louis Pro. You don't do live streams. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. But we'll see who the winner is. I might talk about it on the next slide. So, folks, I got somebody waiting here in the studio, and last weekend was his birthday. So we're gonna say we brought him in. We'll say happy birthday to him, and also we're gonna get into business. Okay, hey, we've got my brother, Big Keith Williams, aka Scuba Steve, aka the Black Hulk Hogan. Also, we got just kind of that, and also got a man. He was the man on the ground. My man KLA the Wanderer.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
So
What up, Big
we start
Pimpin'?
business.
What
Okay,
up?
we're gonna have to say happy birthday to me. Belated happy birthday, to my man Big Keith. So like us, happy
Oh,
birthday to you.
so you gotta say
Happy
it the black
birthday
people way.
to you.
Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
Hey,
birthday
KL
to
can
you.
hit a note. Okay.
He can hold one. He can
Appreciate you,
hold one.
boy. Oh yeah, you can
So
hold one.
anyway, we also get somebody here in the stream. Uh, this is from man. This is the Female Body channel. Says hey. He
What
says
up?
Hey,
uh, who's is this on? We're talking about the New York Pro. We just over the weekend. Uh, volume up, please. I don't know. What's is something wrong with my volume? I don't know. Maybe something just
I hear you now, it's clear.
yeah. I don't know. Also, we got here happy birthday from the Female Body channel to Big Keith, and also
Appreciate you.
here's a happy birthday from your brother here, your buddy Hakeem
My brother from another
Raheem
mother. What
Hamilton.
up, boy?
This is Keith. No, his birthday was last weekend. It was
Yeah,
the
last Thursday.
17th, and yeah, last Thursday. So we were shooting him a happy birthday for him. So just to, because he this was his birthday, and we
I
asked
kind of
him
want to ask
earlier.
how old.
51, baby. 51 and kicking.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. See, yeah. So you asked me how old it is. We won't probably tell him, but it's not a woman. You can't. This is from JB's here. Oh yeah, welcome JB. Thank you. Appreciate it. One day we got to get you on here. So anyway, we just had a New York Pro. I watched the live stream. I watched the good part of the prejudging, but most of my focus is on women's bodybuilding and physique. And I did look at some of the figure girls. I did look at some of the open guys, and we got a man Big Keith here, and we're gonna start out with him because Nick Walker won the New York Pro. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself. I don't like his physique. I don't like his structure. The other guy was much prettier. And Tone Burton, he just was outsized, but he had the prettier of the bodies. It's one of those things in bodybuilding where Nick Walker is talking about winning the Olympia. He's never going to get past Derek. He's never going to get past Samson. He's never going to get past some of these guys because their physiques, they're just as big and their bodies are better. His waistline is, to me, is unbearable. His protruding belly. I just don't like his frame. I just don't like his build. Unbelievable worker, unbelievable bodybuilder. Fucking put some tan on your face, by the way. I don't understand the whole pasty face thing and tan body. I don't understand that whatsoever. But his structure is just not pleasing to me. There's been a lot of guys in history who's competed, the Dorians, the Ronnies, who are just as big as this dude, if not bigger, who bodies just flowed better. The Flexes, the Kevins just flowed better. And his body is just not aesthetically pleasing to me. And so I would have had the other guy, winning, but, that's just my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Nick body frame. The way, we call it the waist to lat, ratio. And he's just, he's a big dude. Don't get me wrong. I remember watching Nick compete in Chicago years ago when he first started competing, and his body has just gotten bigger, but he's just, his, from his distended belly to his waistline is just, when you look at Derek and you look like Samson and you look at Hade Koopa, how do you beat those guys when you got that frame? If you put his frame next to those guys, he doesn't stand a chance, to be honest. Because they're prettier to look at. And so I don't know. I don't know. If you look at the guy who, and I think it's Martinez is the guy who came in second to him, I just like the way his body flows better. It's just pretty, And so I don't know if Nick Walker can stand next to Derek Langford or Hade Koopa or Samson, for that matter, who are the top three guys right now, unless he does something with that waistline. And that's a lot of work to do to bring down that waistline and that distended belly of his, and I don't know. I'm not a fan, but, I'm not a judge there either. So,
Yeah. Well, like I say, you do have expertise as a judge, and you see how these guys are built. Nick is he calls himself the mutant. He's a huge dude. Last year he had to step away because he had an injury. I saw that
hamstring injury.
Yeah,
pulled his hamstring.
Yeah, sad for a young man. But I think it's that they really want to push that more classic look for the men's bodybuilding division. But we had guys like Romney and the others who are just big and freaky. I say, he's still I don't know what he can do about his stomach. Other than plastic surgery, it's not much he can really do outside of just.
Well, he'll be a top 5 guy, but I just don't see him winning the Olympia. He'll be a top 5 guy. He got some bad varicose veins in the calves too, as well. So it's just he's just a brick shithouse. Don't get me wrong. The dude is fucking jacked. It's his body just doesn't flow like the other guys. That's the difference. So, but he got a $50 paycheck and a nice ring there.
Well, I think it was $30,000 for at the New York Pro for men's bodybuilding, because it was last year. It was 20, and they changed it to 30. And
oh, they changed it to 30. I thought it was 50, so they changed it to. I thought it was 30. So
yeah,
okay.
I remember they spoke a while back. Here we have a comment here from my man Raheem says, "Why are we wishing him a happy birthday? His birthday was last week." Well, because it's my channel. He's my brother.
And it's belated. It's belated, buddy. People wish me belated birthdays all week long. Oh shit, it was your birthday, smart ass.
Yeah. And then from my man Stefan Prey says, "Happy belated birthday." Thank you, Stefan. Thank you. And also,
you do know what the definition of belated is, Raheem, don't you?
I just wish the lady who I did interview, Laura, the girl, remember the girl who's from Poland, KL, she lives in the States now. I wish her had belated birthday. She saw it, she liked it, she appreciated it. Also, I wish another lady happy birthday, Brittany Flex Watts, and her birthday was also, I think, yesterday. Here we have your female birthday. Our wrap up is out soon. Okay, I'll see it when you put it out. He says, have fun, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. And this is from Raheem. Says, I wanted to attend the New York Pro, but there's nothing to do in T-Neck just while waiting on the show. Well, you can go to a movie or something, hang out. KL, he went, but he missed the first part of the finals, which was physique. and the other divisions, and then he missed the women's bodybuilding part. But then he checked out the bikini girls and the men's bodybuilding. So, what was your feeling? What's your thought? Your first bodybuilding show. What was your feelings, brother?
My first bodybuilder show. I mean, it was like I mean, it felt like a tease because I did miss the women's, the bodybuilding and the figure and stuff at first. I was like then looking at the guys and stuff, and you know, I did a little recording and stuff, and the audience was huge, man. Like, like there was nothing but huge people there. Like I tried to sit down and record and stuff. I couldn't. I had to go in the back and just record because they was really jacked. And it was like, wow. And then I'm looking at the women and they jacked and stuff. But it was like it not a bad thing, I was just like looking, but it's like people like but I see familiar faces. I bumped into Just Fireborn. We talked a little. She's like the only one I spoke to, really. I didn't really speak to anybody like that. And I think I spoke to one lady. She was like she was giving me like the wristband to go inside and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it just feels like, I don't know, maybe that's just my perspective, but it just feels like people just like they have like this wall, like for some reason, like you just looking at them. Because I seen like this guy, his name, he's like the Needle champ. And, I looked at him, I was about to nod, but he didn't give me that eye and stuff, and he got like these funny skits and stuff like that. But it just I don't know. I'm not in that world like that, so I'm seeing it, really, and you know I don't really have too much thoughts like that. It just like I didn't really know anybody, so I just kind of like when it was over, I just try to
So
get an
as a fan,
Uber.
what was your impression? Like what he's saying, like what was your impression of the overall sport in general? Seeing that like was one of your first pro shows that you've been to. Like, did you like it? Is it something that you would go back to, or was it because of the standoffishness that?
I mean, I would like I would do it again. Like I would do it go. Excuse me. I would go there the second time, like maybe next year, like cause I came late because I was at work and then just trying to and then the trains and all that stuff. So
Yeah, like I
but
said, I mean, my first time when I
I
went
mean I
to
didn't know.
what
Nah, I
you
was
know,
saying I didn't even know who Nick Walker was till they was calling his name and stuff. And
Yeah,
I think he
yeah,
was like when he went outside, he was like taking like photos with people and stuff. He was really huge. I'm like, wow.
yeah.
But I
I
would like to answer your question. I was thinking about, yeah, maybe I can do it next year or something. So hopefully I don't work on Saturday and nothing like that.
yeah.
But yeah, I
Well,
would.
also in Jersey they have a show. It's an amateur show called The Universe. I would say
Team
maybe you
Universe.
don't charge as much for for tickets. If it falls on a weekend, go check it out. It's an amateur show. You might meet
That's
some
why I
new
turned
up and
pro.
comers. Yeah,
That's why I
Yeah,
turned
check.
pro.
Yeah,
we're in New
you know.
Jersey.
Where's it? I think it's the
Same
same
place.
place. T
Same
Net.
place.
Yeah, same
Yep.
place.
See Nick.
CNET.
Same place.
Uh,
Yep.
Just
So
check and
that's
see when they jump on the line, see when the ticket sales, and I would say go out check it again. See because like I said, you're not too far from there, and maybe not awful. Hey, if they can maybe you got somebody to trade shift with, and you can go on Saturday, and
it's a
check it
great
out.
show.
Yeah. We got comments from here from a man, Rocky Hammer says, Teaneck is like Eastern Rutherford. You need a car to get out there, and there's nothing to do, but I
did you
will
could take
go.
a Uber?
Yeah, you can take Uber next year if the show's still in Teaneck, New Jersey. It would have my
It's
car by
always in
then.
T Neck.
Well, like I said, yeah,
It's
Where in New
like I
always
said,
in
because
York
it's
T
or
Neck.
cheaper
how
to do
he
it.
live? Like he like I don't mean to cut you off, Drew. I was
Yeah,
asking like where does he live? Because like for me, like I live in Brooklyn and I would have to go like uptown Manhattan to go to Washington, to George Washington Bridge. and that's how you cross over to from New York to New Jersey. So it
Yeah.
depends like where he's at in the city. So
Well, here he says, I got to train with Keith, the main man this summer. Get some tips from Keith. Shout out to him, get some tips. And also he says,
For
I
sure.
want to. I went to the gym on that day, Mid City gym to work out. Okay, cool. So anyway, we got the guys out of the way for a little bit because they can folks shoot this. This is a child of women, and I don't really focus too much on the men's bikini and men's figure, but I will talk about women's physique. That was the first. It was the first show for prejudging, and the winner was Shawana Hinton. Now, Shawana had competed since 2021, and she did New York that year. She did New York, and she did it was year during the pandemic. She did New York in Tampa, and she did Chicago and Atlanta. And she really was impressive. I mean, she really I wouldn't I was rooting for my girl, Marika Jones. And Shavanica, she really looked pretty good here. It was a showdown between her and this chick who just got a pro card from Germany. I think it was Julia Schroeder, 3D. I forgot what happened. Her name is Julia. And they had brought them, let those two out and have them to pose down. You can see the details. I mean, I think Shawana was a little bit more, you can see in the back, she's a little bit more slimmer right here.
Yeah.
Not as big as dense as this girl here who just turned pro about a month ago. And her pro debut, she got top two. She's number two. I mean, what's your thoughts? What you guys thoughts on it?
Again, as a judge, when I'm looking at the black girl, which I don't know her name, her body just flows better. I mean, again, it's just a more flowing look, and that's women's. To me, that's more women's physique than the other girl. The girl, and when you look at her, when you really look at her body, and her back. I mean, she has this huge, great back, but that it's her waistline. I mean, when you're looking at waistline, and that's why she has to pose her legs the way she does, because when you have a thicker waistline, I call it that black girl waistline, like the Sydney Gilman and the Andrea Shaw waistline. It's just hard to beat that, because again, aesthetics plays a big role in this whole thing, and the body just flows better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sharonka's also a posing coach. She's working with Sherry Priami or Shauna Boswell, Kayla Acock, and and to tell you the truth, I would say I was rooting for my girl, Marika, but we got this video here. It's like she was pretty impressive. This is a video from her prejudging, and
mm.
yeah, she looked pretty impressive. I mean, she has more than
But
sticks you
that,
want
but
to see in
again,
women's physique.
that's what
Go ahead.
we've talked about. I mean, when we've talked about this, that is women's physique right there. This is the epitome of women's physique right there. It's you're not gonna confuse her with me in a bodybuilder because she doesn't have that massive size. But all this is the definition of women's physique. That we talked about this. We talked about it in the weeks prior to this show, and we said, okay, how do you tell the difference? This is women's physique. The other girl, I would say, if I'm looking at her, she more looks like a bodybuilder to me. But this is the classic example of if I took a picture and said, what do I want women's physique to look like? This is what I want women's physique to look like. That's just my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah, this is her. I think this is before the show when she's with her trainer. Just going over some details. Her glutes are shredded to the bone, and the thing is, they want to see too much styration in the glutes, but I think they give it a little bit more leeway. You know, Impressive. I mean, she compete for. This is going to be her. I think her fifth time going to Olympia. She's gone to Olympia multiple times as a physique competitor and been a top 5 competitor in the past. Depending how who's going to
And
be
she's a
there.
pretty girl.
Yeah, she
And
is.
she's a pretty
I say
girl. I mean,
she's giving a speech afterwards. Here we go.
What's up, my beautiful people? I am fresh off of prejudging and I wanted to finally share my experience. Sorry, I've been super quiet, but I had to be focused mentally. Today was a big day for me. It's been a while, 3 years. 3 years, y'all. 3. I needed to build some good quality muscle. I still think there's some improvements that we need to do before the next show, but overall, I am excited and happy and at peace with what we showed today. Um, at first, I was very, very nervous when I got on stage, but it's okay. I fought through it and turned out great. Top two, guys. Top two. We'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you after finals.
Well, she looked really impressive, and her the lady she was up against, if I can really see if I can find her, I think it was here. If I get it here, I had it. Give me a second, guys. You know how it is. Computers can be funny. Uh, I think the female bodybuilder was really impressed by her, and that is Julia. She's originally from Germany, and this is her right here. And she looked really good. I think this is like being her pro debut. I mean, she did kind of right, and she turned pro at least about a month ago, and she was doing both figure and women's physique, and she turned pro in a show in Germany somewhere. But like I said, I think she looks pretty impressive. I think maybe she might just do another show because already there's a couple shows coming up overseas, which is the Imperial in Spain and also Portugal Pro. So what y'all think of her? Like I said,
Yeah,
looks
she
pretty
looked
good.
nice.
Yeah. She just heard getting ready for the New York Pro. She does have a little more size to her, and her condition's really good. She like always the German women bring that certain level of muscle.
But again, this is if I'm critiquing her, I'm looking. It's like the Nick Walker stomach thing. It's a distinction. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't beat aesthetic sometimes. And she has this huge back, but when she turns around, there's a little distension in her stomach. And when you look at the Shanika, is that what the black girl's name is? Her aesthetics is like, again, as a judge, I'm looking at lat to waist ratio, the flow of the body, as much muscle as she has. It's just not as pretty. I mean, great conditioning, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from her. But if I'm a judge and I'm looking at what I want from women's physique, I'm looking at Shanika versus, this girl all day long. And that's just facts. I mean, does she have great conditioning? Yeah. I mean, but when you look at that black girl versus her, it's okay. What am I looking for? What do I want the sport to look like? The other girl is one of those things where we've talked about this in weeks past, guys. The bodybuilding field. I mean, she doesn't probably have enough size, but she could be. I don't know how tall these girls are. They look really small because I know Ashley is super short. But when you're looking at these girls, I'm sitting here saying, okay, I would rather see her in bodybuilding than women's physique any day of the week. And if you look at those girls outside of the top two in women's bodybuilding, she could have been in the top three in women's bodybuilding. I mean, it's just, from the pictures I saw, because outside the top two, the girls were not as sharp as the top two girls in women's bodybuilding. But again, it's one of those things when you're looking at these two girls, hands down, the black girl wins this class because the way of her flow of her body and conditioning. And again, this is what we want women's physique to look like. Bottom line, at the end of the day, that's what I want it to look like anyway. Because then it says, okay, it's enough muscle, but not too much muscle, hardness, but not too hard, and it's just pretty. At the end of the day, it's just pretty. And you just can't beat that sometimes. You just can't.
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, she does. I think, like I said, this was her pro debut. I think she maybe need a little time to stew a bit, but it's just that's how it is. We're here. We get comments here. We get here from my man Rahimi says this. He says Natalia was there to survey the competitors she will destroy. We not care
You
about
are
her.
tripping.
She's not even
Look,
competing.
we don't care about her.
Yeah.
The reason, and Raheem, the
Natalia
reason why she's
zoned
not
in.
competing, huh?
Yeah. He
What do
says
you say?
Natalia zoned in on Ashley and said, "I'll eat her for breakfast. she's no threat. Well, the
Stop
thing
it.
is, Ashley,
Just stop
yeah,
it. Stop. Stop.
he.
Here's the thing. Right now, Natalia is never going to compete compared to Andrea Shaw. And now there's a girl that Andrea Shaw actually invited in, told her she should switch over from women's physique to women's bodybuilding, who's Ashley Jones. And no offense and all, Ashley would have whooped Natalia's ass last year and she would have got smashed this year, and that's a fact, Raheem. So quit tripping. Ain't no future when you're
uh,
fronting, bro.
we got here from man. Sorry, from my girl
Check.
Jada Beverly. He says, "I got a new name for the Brazilian bodybuilder. She's quadruple B quadruple. Must be talking about Lavinia Barros. I think you're talking about. She's not as big as Natalia. You know, but she's there. Also, here he goes again. He says, Natalia was at the NY Pro was said that these competitors are all weak. I would destroy them if she was on stage. I saved them all. No, she wasn't there because she was there. How do you know? Rahi? He didn't go to the show, so you can't speak for somebody else. Any court said throw that out. Also, this is from Stephen Ferris says, he said, did Kevin Lever one attended the show? No one knows. I know Jake was there. If Jake's there, she probably may have been, with him, but no one, there's no pictures or anything I've seen. One lady I want to mention also, who also is number 3, and Glenn's going to interview her, I think, in a week or so. That's Natalia Hernandez and Nadia Hernandez, and she looked pretty impressive. I think she competed last year. She did a couple of shows. Last year, she's from Miami, I believe. I'm not sure, Cuban or Puerto Rican, but she lives in Miami, and I think she looked pretty good. I mean, she took top 3. I mean, she has some good aesthetics. What you
Very
got
good
thinking?
aesthetics.
Yeah,
Is this women's physique?
yeah. Women's physique.
Well, I mean, if you look at her, the problem is that she needs to be drier and harder from the back, which the other two girls were. And if she can get that dial in that conditioning from the back and especially in the glutes and hamstrings, yeah, it's close. I mean, she again, when I'm looking at the top 3 girls, the black girl's waistline is just so ridiculous. It's like when you look at Sydney and you look at Ash. I mean, even when and I can even say Ashley for that matter at this show. I mean, when you're looking at this picture and you see in this waistline right here, you guys got to pay attention to all these little tiny details because every little detail matters when you're going into these shows. If you turn from the back, she's not as hard in the hamstrings and glutes as the other girl, but it was impressive. I mean, she's impressive. And all these girls, when you're in this kind of condition, in this shape, all they can do, they're punching up. They're not punching down. So she's very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Also, she's a client of Shelby Starnes. Shelby is one of the top guys when it comes to the ladies. She competed at St. Louis last year, and I think she was top 3, top 5 at that show too. This is from St. Louis in 2023. She
And she
impressive.
just
This,
wasn't hard enough. I mean, she just wasn't. I mean, again, she's harder at the New York than this show. So she had a much better showing. But again, when you got those 2 top girls is coming in hard as nails, and then the conditioning, and the black girl when she was showing us just flexing her glutes and the striation in her glutes, that shit's hard to beat. So
yeah, it's tough because if you don't, like I said, one thing, this is one of the biggest shows for bodybuilding next to the Arnold and also next to the Olympia, and you really have
yeah.
to really come in condition. I think it was only 9 wins for physique this year compared to I think last year was like maybe about 12 or 14, and you had Natalia at the show, and Natalia, she didn't compete this year. I'm surprised because she won the show the year before, right after you when she became the Miss Olympia physique champion, and she competed the year before she won champion. And I think this was the opportunity for somebody who could come in with the right shape and right conditioning to win. I mean, it was just one of those
Well, I think
circumstances.
I think Natalia and these girls are getting smart that they understand that to go into all these shows and to try to peak and to repeak and to repeak and to repeak is a very complicated thing to do. And I know, I've done 3 or 4 shows in one year, and it's just tough on the body. So if you're going for the biggest title in the world and you're the number 2 girl, why waste your time? You hone in and focus. That's like it's hard. It's hard for people to beat Andrea. Not saying that because anybody, like Tyler said, anybody can be beat on any day. It doesn't matter. But when you get a blueprint of how Ashley looks, and you're John and Andrea, or Sarah and her coach and looking at saying, okay, this is what these girls are bringing. This is what how much better I need to be going into the show to defend my world championship title, to win my Olympia title, et cetera, et cetera. This is what we need to do. So you're giving them a base print. It's like watching a game, watching the basketball game, watching the Western Conference Finals last night, and sitting there saying, okay, we know what our matchups are. We know what we have to do. Well, you get to sit back and just, or get a bye for that matter in football. You're fresh. You're coming off. You're not doing anything. So Andrea and these girls, Sarah and these girls who have these titles, Derek, who has a title that Nick is looking for, they're looking at these guys saying, okay, I know what I have to bring in order to defend my title. And so it's hard for, it's a smart move by her to say, I'm not going to do the New York. I'm not going to do any show, because at the end of the day, what does it boil down to? It boils down, it's awesome that you're the New York Pro champion, but you've already been there, done that. But it's better to be the Olympia champion than the New York Pro champion, because clearly that's the Super Bowl of damn women's bodybuilding and men's bodybuilding. So that's why you see these top guys, besides, a Samson Dua, who will do, I think he did the Arnold twice, both Arnolds and the Olympia, and he's done crazy shows. But they used to do that back to back. But a lot of guys, the top one or two people, don't do that anymore. They do one show for men, and that's the Olympia, because they know that the bag is 400,000. They know that the women understand Andrea doesn't need to do anything. Because she's like, what am I going to go to or Natalia for this matter, what am I going to go into a show to get a $5,000 check when I'm trying to get a $50,000 check? So if I miss my peak because I've jumped into all these shows and I get to the Olympia and I'm burnt out, you done effed off another season. Now you got to wait till next year to do it.
Yeah, because it's just not worth the time, knowing that okay, you already qualified. Why? And also, I know talk to somebody say, why take a spot away from somebody else who wanted, who probably deserve it. You're already sitting on your qualification as a Olympia competitor, so just step aside and let someone else get a shot. So anyway.
Exactly.
But anyway, folks, yeah. So folks, also like I said, we're gonna go back. We're gonna dip into women's bodybuilding because, like I said, this is my favorite division. Always gonna be, and I'm gonna talk about Ashley Jones. Ashley was just amazing. She was just,
What I
her body
say,
was
I
just
told.
on point. There was like the day before the show, she posted some pictures. It was like how a lot of competitors like to get their check-in pictures and she posted and she posted this, and I said, damn. Yeah, I said, God damn, that's all I could say. She looks a lot bigger, even though it was no more barely 2 years ago she last competed as a physique competitor at the Olympia. And then watching the process as she's just evolving and growing, just all I can say is damn.
Yeah. I
She
told you
just
guys 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, watching this girl and understanding, her aesthetic, I don't ever know why she thought she was a women's physique competitor, because everything and again, and this is coming from the world champion's mouth to my ears in front of her, she told Ashley that she needs to come over to women's bodybuilding. And I say, well, when you look at it, and like again, Andrea says she wants the competition, she wants to be pushed, so she ain't scared of nobody. As again, when you're the queen, like, come on, come and get some, let's see what you got. And she asked Ashley, to come over, and clearly has paid huge dividends. And that's one of those things that we talked about, prior shows, is that these girls who are not doing well in women's physique, because when was she at the Olympia? Like 6th or 7th the last time she competed? Or was she even 10th last time?
I think who again?
Ashley. She was
Ashley,
like,
I think
she was
she was like,
10th, right?
I think she was 11th.
Yeah. So I'm like, and then you move over, and then you do this, and the New York Pro is a tier 1 show. So again, at the end of the day, that it's a right move, and and this again is a conversation that we've had in weeks prior to this show. Is why are some of these girls who, like Ashley, who is clearly built and made for women's bodybuilding? The only thing that I could see wrong with Ashley is one quad is bigger than the other, so she may have had an injury at some point in time, because one of her sweeps are completely different, but none of us are completely balanced at all. I have the same issue. Heidi Cooper has the same issue, but she was just phenomenal, and I've been watching this girl before this, and that's why when we were on the show, I was like, man, I'm telling you, Raheem's girl, even if she would have competed, she wouldn't have had a dog's hair ass chance to beat her. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because this girl came on. This game came in. This girl came in on point. You know, Raheem, you're talking about a guy who knows bodybuilding, and yeah, she wouldn't have. No, she no.
Yeah.
If
Well, we
you
got
if you had a picture, George, next week I want you to. I know you're good at this. I want you to pull up a picture of Natalia last year and Ashley this year, and come on, it's like, come on, really?
we got here comment. This is from Raheem. He says, "You guys know I'm trolling." Okay, he says,
I
you know,
know, we know.
yeah, she looks great. She's almost there. Also, we have here my man Money J 2023 shots at Money J says, I heard the name for Lavinia Barros as known as the Brazilian honeycomb. He says, also he says this, excuse me, he says Ashley killed it, she did. And also,
Yes.
this is from Raheem, he says, I feel any women who are competing in shows should not post pictures on their social media accounts. I feel it shows others what you look like. I said, wait to show your work at the show. Well, Flex is, it's one thing when you show the work at the show, but you know what? If you know you're that damn good, you should be able to show when you want to. You know, like I said, you know,
Here's the
that's your
thing.
opinion,
As
Raheem.
I've said this, Raheem. Here's the thing. When you say that, ain't much gonna change in 24 hours. The only thing that's gonna change is the science behind. When I train a client who's getting ready for a show, I said I make my money on peak week. So I got people like, well, I don't want to show pictures. I'm like, you can show pictures, you can't show pictures, but what you got is what you got at that point in time. Then there's the drying out phase and the carb loading phase and all these other phases to get that person on a point. Ashley's coach did a phenomenal job, and even the girl who came in second, because I was like, man, I was super impressed by the girl who came in second to her. And Ashley just had more size and more condition, but man, that was those two. That was very impressive, and that's what you want to see. I hope. What's the girl's name who came in second? Is she from Brazil or something like that?
Yeah, that's Lavinia Barros. We have here a comment
I,
from a man.
Okay.
Said Ashley had muscle bellies, aesthetics, and ebony beauty, flawless skin. Yeah, and that
yes,
was
yes.
Lavinia who won her qualification at the Remaining Muscle Fest last year. I'm going to pose up, and Lavinia, she looked pretty impressive. There was a lot of I felt, she just wasn't as conditioned as she was when she competed
No.
at the Germany Muscle Fest. She has a great look, very, good. She has a good amount of size. A very aesthetically feminine look. From the back, I think and we know this. The back could place or make or break how you place it a show. And
Did she
she
just
does
get
have.
boobs or something?
She got them last year. She got breast implants last year,
Okay.
and she competed. She got earlier the first of around about the 2023, and then she competed in the remaining Muscle Fest by that was like November, so that gave her the times. But from the back, I think she just was a little soft.
Yep.
Her back wasn't as popping compared to Ashley's, but she did put on some size. And we go again. Size is important in bodybuilding compared to physique, but conditioning is also important. I think like the abdominals wasn't as
No,
shredded.
they're
I
washed
think
out. They're
yeah,
washed out.
yeah. And you compare this to Ashley when she came out. She was just her shoulders. Look, her like they just had that great look, broad. Just very even. You can see how everything's just popping.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
you know.
crazy.
I mean, she's just dry, and
Look at
it's
the
just
glutes. Look at the feathers in the glutes. It's crazy.
yeah, crazy striations around the shoulders. I mean, the detail really good. I mean, she just. I mean, when I saw this when she does her back pose, and she goes, bam, there was lights out. I
Yeah.
like I said, lights out. I mean, you
Again, you
know,
got to look at that. Look at that waistline, dude. Compared to, I mean, it's just tiny. It's like I mean, it's not as I don't think it's as small as Andrea's in Andrea's waistline, but it's still, I mean, but it's just a lot of muscle on that little tiny frame.
yeah. And, as being a small girl, she's like I think she's like maybe 5 feet because she
Yeah.
probably might be just an inch taller than Michaela. And also, lady took and this was a surprise to me. I was rooting for um, Keisha Keisha Oliver, because I think she had a great physique, she had a great look to her. I felt like she was going to get at least, I would say, third, or if not, depending how Lavinia looked, second. But she took fourth at the show. She competed. The last time she competed was at the you know oh wait, see if I have the pictures here. Last time she competed was at the mm, Vancouver Island show, and I see she don't have the pictures here on her. She don't do too much online. She don't do too much stuff on, but let me see if I can find. I think I can find something on Female Body channel. They have some pictures of her because she don't post a lot of stuff on her IG, but she looked pretty impressive. We here, I think they really liked her. Let me see where. Here it is, and and she looked really good. I think she still has some issues, and there's also the lady
What's her
took
name
fourth,
again? George?
Keisha Oliver.
Keisha Oliver. Okay.
All right, and next thing we
So
have here,
so when you look at Keisha, you look at this girl. That girl who placed second in women's physique would have beat both of these girls. Put it that way.
yeah, and you have here Judy Welker, who hadn't competed, I think, since the last year. She took third, and you had Gina Cavallero who came in. Gina, with her, because I did an interview with Gina, and she works with Hella and them now. With her, I think she just really, I don't know, she's kind of blocking the midsection.
Yep.
Her conditioning didn't come in as good. She put on some
Her,
size, and she had competed since 2021,
yeah.
and she took a sit back
But
because I
she.
did an interview with her because she was dealing with some medical issues. And from the
Yeah.
back,
But she. Yeah.
yeah,
Again. I'm telling you guys that girl who came in second in women's physique is in better shape and could have easily been, I would say, even number two to Ashley in this class. Because if you go back and look at that girl who was the girl who placed second in women's physique, yeah, who just turned pro, George, like George said, like, man, that's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah,
got look at her. Come on, I would. Literally, she could have easily been second in that women's bodybuilding class. That's how crazy it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just that crazy because of conditioning, size, glutes. Let me look. Her whole package is harder than 3 and 4. Easily, she's in better shape than 3 and 4, and she has the size.
yeah.
One girl, the girl who was third. She just, they're both third and fourth just didn't have enough quads, and enough condition. And I don't know who else was in the class. And clearly, they were the better than anybody else in fifth or whoever. But again, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's yes. If I'm Tyler Manning, I'm like, and I'm saying that I'm like, this is an epitome of what we want in women's physique is the girl who won women's physique and those girls who are third and fourth in women's bodybuilding, they just, like you guys said, and eye in the sky don't lie. The conditioning and the size just wasn't there to compete against that 1 and 2 spot. Not even close. It was
Hmm.
1 and 2 and everybody else.
Yeah. Here is this from Man Money J says Ashley does need to add more size if she expects to go toe to toe against Andrea. Yeah, it might be helpful also. Also, in my opinion, she improved from her last show, and that's been a while. Um, and he said he was talking about I was Lavinia Bartles. I'm talking about because Lavinia she competed at the 2022 Olympia. I think she was 15, right behind Donna Salee, who was 14. And and you thinking that because she's only I think she's just 27, 28. And, we think she would be in better condition, but I think she's still being young, and you take your time, your body to grow and develop. And also, I think one thing we talk about is like breast implants can really affect how your conditioning is. If you
I
get
just
them,
don't understand it. I just don't understand why you get them so big. Like Tina has them, but again, and I know a couple girls who have them, but they match their bodies. So as it's somewhat, you put all this hard work into your body, and I'm not a boob guy anyway, but you put so much of this hard work into your body, and then you create this distraction from that hard work. And I don't understand that. I don't know what doctors are telling them this is the best way to go or whatever the case may be, but it's just I don't get it. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't understand why do that. Why, get them something natural that flows with your body, that doesn't look like a buoys that you can float on your chest in the water, and just get them more. Again, as a judge, I want a body that is flowy and aesthetically pleasing. If you look at Ashley, if you look at the girl who won women's physique and look at them, it flows so pretty. Andrea, it flows so pretty. So you got to look at these girls and be like, why are you doing this? Because it's taken away from, like, the first thing I said, they look like she just got them, and you said a year ago, so they're pretty fresh and new. But again, I don't understand it. I guess it's not for me to understand, but I don't understand it as a judge or a competitor for that matter. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, as men, we society see breasts as an important part of being a woman and being feminine. And some women get it because they want to. Remember we had a discussion a while back where it makes them feel more aesthetically pleasing, and sometimes they feel like that might help some in points. But sometimes, like for example, against Andrea, Ashley,
Yeah.
uh, Angel Yo, Michaela. I mean, they never went under the knife, but they have great physiques. It's just like
Yeah.
work. Here we got a comment from a man. Raheem says, Ashley is good as she is going to go head to head with Andre. I think I already said that. I believe. He said this is from Buddy J says Gina looked good, but didn't really nail it. So yeah. Also, he says, you think Ashley Jones can surpass Angela Yo and Helen Trevino? Thoughts? Um,
Yes. Apps.
yeah.
Yes.
If she-
From the Helen Trevino standpoint, I would say yes because she's more aesthetically pleasing and she has size. From the Angela Yoke standpoint, I think she is. I don't know how Angela Yoke, Tina. How tall is she? Huh? Maybe 5'1". So again, to me, looking at Angela versus Ashley, Ashley has way more size than Angela Yo. So I mean, especially in the quads in the back. So if I am seeing now, we did our predictions. If I'm seeing somebody that's going to push Andrea, it's definitely going to be Ashley. It's definitely going to be Ashley. Ashley, from the aesthetic ass point, from the condition ass point, from the whole overall size ass point, even the presentation. You see, when she walked out, her presentation is, again, when you look at Andrea and you look at Ashley, the way they walk out to the center stage, the way they hit their poses, the way they set up everything, it's just feminine, it's just pretty, it's just all these things that come with it. So I am now going to move Angela probably into, as of right now, into third, and it's going to be a battle between Andrea and Ashley at this point in time, in my opinion.
yeah.
Just
We
my
have
opinion.
here some comments from man Raheem. He said Gina looked great. I mean, she looked pretty good. I mean, she be putting on some size. So just need to work on conditioning. Also, this is from a man, Money J says, Lavinia boobs don't need to be any bigger. They really do need to look like the Michelin man pumped up in the air in them, looking all inflated. Yeah. And also, this is from, Raheem says, Natalia boobs flows naturally. I know why you like her
No,
boobs,
no,
right?
no comment. No
I know
comment.
why you. But
Jesus.
I'm gonna show you this. It's a picture. It's a rendering from Women's Body Being Edits. He makes some post pictures and stuff and put them together. And this is one I think this is what I think Keith would like, where he get a comparison is between Angela and Ashley. See, like
How
you
do
can
you
see, yeah, you can
look at the
see
lats?
how.
Okay, we'll start here. Look at
Okay.
quads. We'll start at the quads, but then look at the waist. Then you look at the
Mm-hmm.
waist. Angela's a little bit thicker in the waist. Then let's roll up. You see the V taper, guys? You guys don't understand when I say a waist to lat ratio. Look at Ashley's waist. It's like a beat. It's like a perfect beat. Whereas when you look at Angela, it's like it's kind of a V, but it's because of Ashley's waist is so small. But then you go to the biceps and the shoulders, and she's just way bigger. And it looks like she's probably maybe an inch and a half taller than Ashley is, but I don't see I Ashley is just a complete package, and from I would love to see a picture. I think somebody posted a picture of Andrea, and it wasn't a very good picture of the two. Ashley's harder than Andrea, so I mean she is. At least in this picture, but again, at the end, yeah, and Ashley is all of 4'1", so it's she's not a very tall girl.
Mhm.
And
Here's a picture.
what is this? Yeah,
This is what he did of Andrea and Lavinia, and you can really see it's even though you don't see you see how you see that taper. Even though Lavinia's a little bit wider, the taper is not as good compared to Andrea. And,
Yeah, I see a little difference.
yeah,
Oh.
because she has bigger. Maybe she has the shoulders might be slightly bigger, but you know, Andrea has that perfect taper because she has that small waist. And Lavinia, I think she has put on some size. She has gained a bit, but still the big difference. Um, I
but
think this.
I mean, but when you look at this with this picture that you just showed, George, of Andrea and Ashley, I mean, Ashley is way harder than Andrea in this shot. I mean, so again, you know, I I don't know how tall Andrea. I think she's like 5'3", 5'5", maybe. Again, at the end of the day, it's having a blueprint and understanding that. I mean, and again, look at Andrea's waist compared to Ashley's. I mean, Ashley has a tiny waist, but look at Andrea's waist. That's crazy. I mean, so it's smaller than Ashley's, which Ashley has a small waist, so is she harder? Yeah, but again, when we're looking at abs, when we're looking at overall packages, Ashley, again, it's a thing where it sucks because you're comparing a 4'1" girl to a 5'5" girl, and it's just difficult to do because of the height advantage. But again, this is a fresh picture of Ashley, and this is an old picture of Andrea. So, can we really make a comparison to them yet? Probably not.
Yeah, because we gotta probably wait till like the Rising Phoenix is coming up in about a
Yep.
few months. That will probably be
Yep.
the show where we can see the difference. Um, this is for a man. Uh, uh, Money J says, "Did you see the crazy split Ashley Jones did during her routine?" Yes, because Ashley is a gymnast. I think he has it. Her routine is on Women by Big Eddie. He had a routine right here. I'm gonna show her routine a bit if you don't have to see it. And here she is starting right here, and she has a genetic background, and that helps with posing because some of the girls posing not that good and not as flowing, but she can move. She even did a standing split where she took her leg and put it up beside her, pretty much near her head. This is a 9-second video, guys. You can watch it for a bit and get a critique of it. You know, and she stays in the center. There she goes. Shakes a little bit, and she does a split. And you can see her condition is just amazing. I mean,
I can't see anything.
you can't.
Me neither.
Uh-uh.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't put it. Let me see. Give me a second. Oh, I thought I had it.
There you
There it
go.
goes.
Yeah, now we see it.
Yeah, there you go. Now here she is in her pose, and she looks pretty good. And give me she'll do the standing leg split. And I think it's a again, she has a genetic background, and it helps that in her posing routine. Now this is one part where she started. She right around here. She does she shakes a little bit, but you know, and then she does the split.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the finals.
I wonder who
Yeah.
won Best Poser at the World Championships.
Well, with she might next year, she might because
No,
because
I'm saying I'm predicting her to win Best Poser at the World
yeah,
Championships based
but
off of
she's
history.
very impressive here. We have here somebody that's came through here. It's our man, Art of Muscle.
Hey
Hey,
guys, how you
Art.
doing?
Yeah, how
Art
you
of female,
doing?
the Art of Female Muscle. Welcome, guest. Before we have
Hey.
some comments here, we got a comment here for this is from my man Money J says it's very impossible, Keith, that Andre Shaw saw how hard Ashley Jones is and planning on making drastic top-notch improvements for the Rising Phoenix and
Absolutely.
Miss Olympia. Yeah, she has to. Uh, and here's again, Raheem says, this is Money J says, it says Natalia's fire. I mean, and I think my man, Stephen Prey says, "How tall is Lavinia? She got to be around about maybe 5'1", 5'2". If she's so much taller than Ashley." And all right, you watch the show. What's your thoughts of it? How you feel?
Well, most of it, what I was able to see was from stage picks. I was not able to see the actual broadcast itself, so a lot of things that I'll say are just based off of the comp picks that I saw. As far as the women's bodybuilding go, I figured Ashley was going to be up there because I mean she showed that absolutely crazy shot just before they went on stage. The one where she had the baseball hat and the blue
Yeah.
shortened halter.
Hotel.
I mean that
Yeah,
spread like wildfire throughout bodybuilding media, and everybody was pointing it out. And that's it. Yep, everybody was talking about that and said, "Oh my God!" It's like she's coming on stage like that. Look out! So you figured after a shot like that she was going to be in one of the top spots easily. So interesting when I saw the routine clip that you just mentioned. That was like shades of Yolanda Hughes, who was also a gymnast, and she was also a competitor back in the day. Only she added a front flip, or it was either a front flip or a back flip to her routine. And then Lavina came in with great size, great shape. I figured when I saw they posted the prejudging pics of her that it's probably going to be between Ashley and Lavina. So the one that I was really surprised about. I'm glad that she got one of the top spots was Jeannie Welker. I thought I had seen she had just recently done a photo shoot with Sean Nelson, and she was like in absolutely crazy condition. So I figured looking at that, I was like, well, then she could be easily be one of the top spots because she can get some freaky conditioning going. Um, Gina, I agreed when you guys said it's like, yeah, she looks great. But I guess the one problem is blocky is what I
Yeah.
saw of her.
Yep.
And then let's see, Keisha. Or Gina was fifth. Keisha was fourth. Um, the only area that I thought was a problem with her was her quads.
Yep.
Were not as developed. She had a very nice flow, a very nice aesthetic flow to her physique, though. I thought she looked really good in that regard. Then when I looked at when I saw the competitor list for WPD and I saw Sharonica Hinton's name, I was like, oh well, okay. Maybe this has already been decided because Sharonica is a four-time Olympian. So, and I had been following along with Julia. What's her last name? Shraddha? Trying to remember
I think
how
that's
we
it,
pronounce her
Strider or
last
something
name.
like that. Yeah.
But people were saying that, and I looked at that original. We're saying it was Sharonica maybe versus Julia, and I looked at that originally. I said, "Wait a second, okay, rookie pro versus four-time Olympian." So we'll have to see. But Julia brought it. I mean, absolutely, she did. Same thing with Nadia Henriquez. I think the one area that Well, actually, the one big surprise was Sharonica, from just my perspective, she came in with a classic WPD look, and which is not as big, not as much muscle as the other ones. And usually, when I see that look, it doesn't do well as far as the placing. So
Hmm.
I thought it was interesting that Sharonica got it rather than Julia or Nadia. The way I saw it, their midsections were too big. In the past, that midsection is what has cost Anne Marie Mon um, the title against people like Natalia Abraham Coelho, who come in with a smaller waist, and that was one of the critiques that they gave. And then, but what that one that didn't make sense to me was Marika, is how why she got placed fourth, because just looking at it, it's like her physique is closest to Sharonica based on what I'm seeing here. So I don't understand why she got fourth. If you're going to give the win to Sharonica, the next closest one up there is Marika, just from my perspective, because her midsection is the same. She had the same level of muscle in her upper body as well as her lower body. So it's like, okay, if you're going to give Sharonica the win, why would you give the next closest physique to her, which from my perspective was Marika? Why would you give her fourth? What I
Hmm.
guess
Yep.
what am I missing in that? So
Yeah,
I
because
think, and I because see, if you don't like a big midsection, and traditionally judges don't like a big midsection because it makes you look more blocky and such. If that's been the case for the judging, I don't understand why Marika got fourth then. So
yeah,
Yeah.
and
that's
she's
just
really
my
evolved.
perspective of it.
She's really had really evolved from St. Louis. Because this is some pictures she posted. This is from a matchup between her when she was in St. Louis to when she was in New York. And I think she just maybe became a little tighter for this show compared to St. Louis. I felt like she was going to win personally because Marika Johan competed for only 3 years, but like I said again with what Art said, she has that classic look. With the other girl, I think because she was new, young, Tyler was the judge there, and he probably felt like she probably deserved it more. There was that showdown between Sharonica and Julia. Um, like I said again, it's just the rules keep changing. I think it's like they change the rules in midstream. We have just some comments here. This is from my man Money J says that he says uh, Ashley's going to win Best Poser Award too. Yeah, I
Yep.
believe it.
Absolutely.
Also, he says this. I love the song choice Ashley had for the routine too. Also, he said this says third place finisher looks good too, and that was Ginny Welker. And he also says I was surprised Marika wasn't in the top two myself. Yeah, because I felt like it was gonna be a battle. I would say I would Glenn he knows Veronica he did the force he's saying y'all guys y'all not you underestimated Sharana Hink. I did. I didn't estimate her. I felt like she hadn't competed for almost 3 years. The division's changing, the look is changing, but she brought that classic look, and I think that's what they want in women's physique. You know, question is, would she ever do? I think she said she did an interview. I think with the Olympia Channel and also with News Online. I don't think she's gonna sit and just chill out and not do any shows and just work on her stuff. Maybe bring on more size for them because Sarah was there. Sarah Vickers was there, and Sarah was she was there passing out trophies. And you know if you saw Sarah and even just still her even off season, her glutes are just crazy huge. I mean, she's wearing a short little black dress. I'll pull up here, and her glutes. You can see how conditioned her glutes are. Let me say here, as computers get slow, I need to do one. Here we go. Just slightly, you can see. Even she's really putting a little more size, and even off season, her glutes are just shredded.
Yeah, she
You
look
know,
nice.
Yeah,
yeah,
she look at the quad, sweet.
yeah.
Right.
quads are just she's look like she's I don't think I know Sarah, she's a hard worker, and I think she's still I think she's taking her time because her conditioning always been crazy. We see her from the back, and this is the debate where Sarah was the one that really changed the division when she won and beat Shanique Grant. Somebody told me this. How to say, like, I think it was either I think it was you, Keith, that told me that Sarah was the one who changed
Yep.
the division when she became the new champion.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
In what
and then like I
ways?
said,
Just out of curiosity. That's just a question for
well,
Keith.
Well,
What's
that
his analysis? What
well,
how did she do that?
here's the thing. When you look at the girl who just won this class at New York, it's when you look at prime example. When you look at Ashley and you look at size and packages, you look at waist, the lat ratio. There's a whole bunch of things that are flowing, like compared to the girl who placed second to the girl at the New York Pro, right? I mean, her waist was just way thicker than the girl who placed first. And now you have Sarah, who's create. The one thing that's confusing me is because Sandy said that she didn't want crazy striations in the glutes, and Sarah brings that package, but it's just a more flowing package to the sport, and in the conditioning aspect of things is what is I think now. If I looked at not Natalia, the girl who's second right now, and this girl who just placed won the New York. And those three girls, in my opinion, I think that's more of the look that they're going for women's physique because even when we were watching the previews of the girl who just won the New York Pro in women's physique, remember how she was flexing her glutes and you seen those little striations, but it was not too much. That's going to be a girl that's now going to be in that top five at Olympia if she can bring that same package that she brought to New York on stage. But again, I think that they're trying to figure out, you know, and weed out what do we really want, Art. That's really a hard question for me to answer because it from show to show it changes.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
just it's just like when you said the girl who was what was St. Louis. How do you put the girl from that was the one in St. Louis? She won the St. Louis, correct?
yeah,
What the that so she won St. Louis again. The waist. I mean, the other girl, like I said, is more of a bodybuilder shape to me than
True.
because she's
Exactly.
thicker.
I think so
That's
too.
what I said earlier. I said she's more of a bodybuilder shape because she could easily place second in that. I mean, and not taking anything away from Lavinia, if that's her name, if I'm saying it right or butchered her name. But again,
so,
she would easily be top three in that bodybuilder class because 3 and 4 she blows out the water based off of her shape and conditioning. The girl who plays second behind Ashley, or the girl who plays second behind the black girl in the women's physique study, excuse me. Because again, her muscle bellies are thicker, her muscle belly walls are thicker. So I'm like, again, it's one of those girls who either you trim down your waistline because now you're looking at Ashley, now you're looking at Andrea, now you're looking at Angela Yo, now you look at Michaela, and you're looking saying, you're a and Ashley, you're a thick waisted girl. Like Nick Walker is a thick waisted guy. So how do you stand next to a Samson Dua? How do you stand next to a Hadi Cooper? How do you stand next to a Derek Langford? All these guys who have these small waistlines, but just this bigger muscle bellies. So it's one of those things where it's going to be a consistency of what the judges are looking for. But I thought they missed a mark when they gave her the girl who placed second, they gave her second. She should have easily been third. The girl who from St. that won the St. Louis easily should have been second, based off of what first place looked like.
Right. Exactly. Because I thought Marika, based off of all the women up there, based upon the pictures that I saw. I mean, yeah, Marika is very much the same physique as, especially when the waistline, as Sharonika is. So,
I
which
mean,
is which is interesting because
was she as hard? No. But when we're looking at my whole thing as a bodybuilder and a judge and a coach, when I look at my athletes, I'm like, how do we get the body to flow as best as possible? We're
right,
still bringing size, conditioning, and aesthetics. And that's why I thought that they messed up, because I understand, I've done the New York Pro a couple times, and I know Steve Show, but I know that he likes bodybuilders, he likes the size. And this, hands down, Ashley just blew everybody out of the water. That was hands down. In the women's physique, the girl who won, hands down, she was the best. But when it came to that second and third, I'm flip flopping them. I'm definitely flip flopping second and third it because if I'm going to stand somebody next to somebody to two aesthetically flowing physiques, I'm gonna put the girl because she was third, right? Am I correct?
Which one?
The girl from the St. Louis Pro.
She was
Maurice was
fourth.
fourth.
Wow,
I know.
Third
that
was
See
just blows
that?
my mind
See
even
that's
more.
what really didn't make any sense.
Yeah, that blows my mind out way even more. I mean, that's just crazy to me. But again, it's it's consistency of judging and what they're looking at, and I know is so subjective, but I always call it the common denominator factor, and it's definitely used in the amateur ranks when you're looking at five girls and whether it's Gary Udick show or TU or USA's or nationals, that they're looking at the five girls and goes, okay, which of these five girls best matches up with each other and best suit this class, and that's how they pick them, you know. And that just fourth place, wow, that just blew me away. I didn't realize. I thought she was third. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
crazy.
we have a man, Lawrence Perkins, in the house. It says, "Good afternoon, good people." Thank you, Lawrence.
Good
He
afternoon.
Hey,
says,
what's up,
uh,
Lawrence?
New York Pro was a great show, and shout out to Kansas City NPC event too. Oh, there was an event in Kansas City. Didn't know.
That was a
That's it.
natural event. Was an NPC natural event this weekend there.
Uh, I thought George, you said that Cheryl was guest posing. She was. They don't show guest posing. That usually I don't know if
It's like
they
the
show it or
halftime
not.
show.
Hmm? Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
the halftime.
halftime. Yeah, so they would show it doing. You have to be there live. I remember when Andrea and Mona guest posed, and now you get to see it live. They don't show it doing the live stream. I don't know. Also, this is from a
Also, I
man.
had I had a quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead with the question. Go
Okay,
ahead with
this
this
is from
question.
Money J. Says Sarah only handed out trophies, but I was looking forward to guest posing. So she must have just changed her mind because I know she said she could guest posing. She's supposed to have done the guest posing at Pittsburgh, but then something happened to her plane and she didn't make it, so she switched to New York. And also, she gets news that she's going to do for something's coming up with Sarah Vegas. Is for her division. She'll probably say something, in a couple of weeks or so. If you follow her on IG, she posted on IG. I saw it this afternoon. So we're gonna say Art.
I saw a little blurb about this, and I'm trying to remember whose story it was over on IG. Did they not have the pose down round for New York Pro? Did
No,
they remove it altogether?
they didn't have it last year, and they have it this year. They didn't have final pose down for either physique or women's bodybuilding.
That's a surprise. I
Yeah,
was
They didn't have
like,
it last year.
why would they remove that? Well, just because of timing's sake, or what? It's only like 2 minutes. So
yeah,
that's like one of my favorite. That's all time. So
yeah.
all the
Because it,
time that I've been following this is one of my favorite rounds is the pose down round as a fan. So I'm like, why would you take that out?
I don't know.
I
It
would
That
say
doesn't.
doesn't make that doesn't make any sense.
I would say time constrictions because last two times I've done the New York Pro, man, the show we got out there late, like so. It all depends what the time constrictions are and things
Yeah,
like that.
and even in New Jersey, the traffic can be crazy, and people don't want to sit in traffic. It's a lot of stuff. I don't know. Like I said, it's Bev's and Steve's show, so that's what they want to do. This is from Money J. Says this. He says Money J says this says that's smart when a competitor take their time off season in the bodybuilding world. Yeah, so also, this is from Money J says, let me ask the question. Do you think Sarah Vigors will win and remain Miss Olympia? Possibly. Only real threat is Natalia. And Natalia's bringing the same, there's not much she
But
can
here's the
do.
thing but here's the thing. You just heard. So again, what's the girl who just won the New York Pro Women's Physique?
Sharonka did.
Sharonica, yeah.
Veronica said, you know, I was nervous on stage. You remember with the interview after prejudge, she said, I was nervous on stage, but we still know we have some improvements to do. Now she has plenty of time now. And that package that she brought to the stage is whatever the improvements are, which can't be much. If she, whatever they're talking about, her team is talking about doing, I'm telling you guys right now, the same thing I told you guys about Ashley. This girl that I just seen is that girl that can be the dark horse that comes into here and pushes Sarah and Nadia. I'm telling you, right? Quote me on this right now, because what I just seen from the New York Pro, this girl was highly impressive.
Well, yeah,
Highly
because she's
impressive.
been to the Olympia 4 times
Yeah,
already prior to this. So it's like if she's good, she is a top level competitor all the way. So yeah, she very easily could be a threat to both
yeah,
Sarah and Natalia for one of the top
absolutely,
three spots. So
exactly.
And then plus with Ann Moon out this year because she's dealing with recovery. That's somebody and Brooke Walker out. You do have still one lady who I'm a fan of, and that is Zuma from Brazil. And you know she's gonna I think she's gonna do a show. I believe she's gonna do Tampa. After I'm hearing, and she was number three. She's right behind Natalia. And if she, I don't know, her she has evolved really ever since because I remember last year year before she did women's bodybuilding. She did it at the Made in Muscle Fest, and then she switched back to physique. And the question is, will she hold her third spot? Because she looked pretty good. I mean, you pretty much because when you remember that last year, Barbara Jean wasn't competing. Brooke Walker she kind of fell off a bit. She wasn't as good as she was
Sometimes.
before. That was in 2020,
Yeah.
2022. And Zuma, Zama, she looks really good here. You know,
yeah,
Well, it's like they say in NASCAR. Let's put them in the crowd and see how it goes.
and you know what?
Is she
She has,
physique or bodybuilding?
she's
Women,
physique,
Oh, okay. Wow.
yeah, and
yeah.
she's been training. Because I think somebody mentioned to me that she's supposed to be doing the Tampa, and this is a back shot. I
Jeez,
mean,
crazy.
and she's physique.
Right,
You
exactly.
know,
And that goes
I
back to the issue of consistency in the judging. It's like,
yeah,
what are they looking for? I
and
mean, and that
that
one gets the
million
top.
dollar question.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like even when they post the criteria for the damn division, I mean, sometimes they follow it, other times they don't. So it's like I feel for the women because it's like they go up to the judge and they say, "Oh well, you need to build it." The judge at that show when they go back to
Well, and we know and we know that these shows, Tampa, New York, those are going to be judged by Tyler. Tyler
mhm,
judges these. Everybody has to understand. There's tier one, there's tier two, and there's tier three shows. I don't even think they have the tiers anymore based off. See, it was the tiers before because it was like the point system. But now that you don't have the point system, I don't even think they have any tiers anymore. It's just a show because you win or you win or you get in. If not, you're out. And so it used to be like if it was in New York or it was Tampa or Chicago, you get the most points from there. But then if it was like, Omaha or some of these other small shows, the points different the tiers. So you had tier one, tier two, tier three shows. And then that's how you basically got your points. But now I think it's all game to everybody of, because you either win and you're out, which again, as we look at all these girls on stage, and see how close it is between some of these girls, and some of these girls are going to get left out. That's why the sport, as far as women, will dissipate because the girls sit there and say, "Fuck, I mean, what do I have to do?" I mean, it's financially not feasible to keep running after all these shows, but you can. And if you don't win, okay, I got to do it again. If you don't win, I got to do it again. If you don't win, I got to do it again. Whereas if you before, like Tina, for prime example, if she was like third at a show and it would then tell us, okay, she needs two or three more points. Well, we can jump in the next show and hopefully get those two or three more points. If not, maybe we'll do this show and she gets that one point that she needed. Now these girls don't have that opportunity anymore, so it kind of sucks, you know, that you have to, and that's why there's less girls, and it sucks for these girls who are so close that, like me and George were saying, and George corrected me this weekend when we were talking via text that, if Ashley would have lost, and then, you know, she wouldn't have qualified because the girl who came in second's already qualified, correct?
Yeah.
So she's already in, and then Ashley has to go to Worlds and try to beat Andrea to get in. And we had two girls last year, remember, who placed second, who took off a year, came back, and was a close second, and didn't get in, and not competing this year because we all know from the training standpoint, from the supplementation standpoint, the financial burden and the responsibility, that is just tough for these girls to do this shit. So
Sure.
that's why I'm just saying, why wouldn't you have a point system for certain classes? I mean, in particular, women's bodybuilding. I mean, the plethora of athletes in women's physique, we know that. The plethora of in women's wellness, bikini, men's physique, men's classic physique. But there's a overwhelming number of girls who don't get into the women's Olympia and women's bodybuilding because of this new point system, which is fucking stupid. So it's
Yeah,
You
crazy.
know,
I understand what they were doing in spirit,
Yeah.
because I mean that's the way. If it was financially incentivizing for them, then this system that they have right now would work. Because I mean that's the way it's supposed to be. The winners are supposed to go up against the winners. I mean the
Yeah.
winner of each pro show. Now that would work if they had the financial incentive to be able to if they had the
So
financial incentive to be able to do something like that. But it's like you said, Keith, since they've gotten rid of the point system, and because there's so little financial incentive at the majority of shows, like I don't know what the prize money was like here at the New York Pro, but it's like unless you add a financial incentive to getting rid of the point system, it doesn't make sense to get rid of the point system.
Well, yeah, because
It
again,
doesn't.
because again, remember George Tyler Mannion said, "Oh well, we got a great news for the sport of bodybuilding," but no, it benefited the men by $10,000, but did it benefit the women? Probably not.
mhm, mhm.
I don't know what Ashley won at this show, so I'm speculating, but I'm sure that it wasn't a $10,000 bump like it was for the men because remember the men was 20 and now it was 30 this year. Plus they got a nice ring. I'm sure she got a ring as well. But what was the money for that show? You know, again, when you look at most of these shows, it's a 10, maybe 3 to 4 to $5,000 prize money for a woman to win a show, which is nuts.
Which like will cover what? Like we talked about with Teresa, it covered what?
Yeah,
Travel accommodations, maybe some of the food, or
yeah,
maybe some of the supplementation. But I mean,
yeah,
other than that, it's a losing ROI every single time.
And then
absolutely.
Absolutely every time.
also your posing suit that right there alone already takes up a good chunk of your change. It's like a $2,000, $3,000 paycheck. I think it was $3,000 at the triple O for Teresa, and I think for Julia it was like 2,500 at the Vancouver Island show. She has to come all the way from the states to Vancouver. You got to make sure your visa's right. We have here a comment from a man, Money Jason. Since the judging criteria after the New York Pro in women's physique indicates some changes of that, ladies' day are going to place for the Olympia. All right, I don't know. Also, it says, I saw on Sarah IG something about distraction, distinction award for a show coming up. That might be the Texas Pro because she put some money there, and that probably one of the shows. Also, maybe Sarah will post her posing on IG, because they told people they didn't want no streaming unless. Well, Sarah's husband's rich, so he might have maybe for her
Hmm.
maybe posted it, but I don't see it on her IG. She hasn't posted it yet. She did. Also, this is from my man Lawrence Perkins says Zoma is definitely on her game as well. Yeah, and this is from my man Money J says Zoma Benta is definitely an amazing athlete. She will be something to really to be in top three. So yeah, but the thing is that people talking about is the week for last week, Jack Tatone decided to drop figure no women's physique
Women's
from the
physique.
St. Louis Pro because there wasn't enough competitors because he had only 5 women at the show this year, and then he has a show called the Ultima that's coming up this weekend also, so you know, and then also he had the I think the Omaha next month. He says that he's waiting on if Omaha does have enough competitors, then he's gonna leave Physique there. But if doesn't, he's gonna probably gonna kick it out and put in Figure or maybe Wellness in his place. We talked about this a little bit on the channel, and but here's the thing
But
is,
remember, oh,
hmm?
sorry, go ahead. Sorry. But remember, he also posted about that incentivizer, about free booth space at his expo for
Mm-hmm.
Omaha as well. So it's not
Yeah,
totally out yet, but he's like
yeah,
he's trying to get it to come back because he's giving that offer for and specifically for Omaha, but we'll have to see. So,
yeah.
like you
And,
said,
it's just like I said. Here the thing is, he's the same guy that kicked out women's bodybuilding. Was that year when Daniel Willis and the other lady, there was only two women's bodybuilders kicked out because But maybe by
Well, that was
June,
that was because Jake, I mean, they Wings of Strength, pulled the plug on that, and so that was covered by Jake Woods and Wings of Strength that was doing that, and so once they pulled out, because obviously he got into other ventures, let's just say, you know, what is the incentive for now for Jack Tone to do it on his own if he doesn't have Wings of Strength behind him? That's kind of like Tim Gardner. I mean, Tim Gardner's established himself very well with his production, Gardner Productions. But think about it. For a long time, Jake, when he got into this with Tim Gardner to bring back women's bodybuilding, breathe some more life into it. So a big incentive for these promoters it was Jake Woods, and now that Jake Woods is out of women's bodybuilding like he was before, it kind of changes the tone of these promoters when it comes to women's bodybuilding.
hmm and if last week was the Pittsburgh Pro, and Jake was there. I got an interview coming up tomorrow with Natalie Ray Wolf, who won her qualification for the Olympia, and Jake was there. Yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help it. I'm see, I got to do it. And doing there, Tyler announced they're going to make it uh, an expo, Pittsburgh Pro. They're going to make it into an expo, meaning they're
Well, I
going
mean,
to.
shit. I mean, you bring in all these pro bodybuilders in, to go on stage, and you're bringing them flying in from all over. Hell, Samson was just in Kuwait, and then he ended up in Pittsburgh. He went from because I follow Samson, and he's a friend of mine. He went from because he's joined the oxygen team in Kuwait now. So stopped working with Milos, went to Kuwait, left Kuwait, went back to the UK, and then was in Pittsburgh. He was only at home for 2 days. Was in Pittsburgh. Who you didn't think that Gary and Jim Mannion and all those guys I mean, the question is how much. The question is how much was he paying these guys to all come and guest post? Because the shit ain't for free. Because you got to buy plane tickets for all these guys, hotels, and all this other stuff. So that's just crazy in itself. You had how many? And that was bodybuilding. That was men's class. Had some classic physique guys. Shit, they even had Chris Bumstead there. So they had a shitload of these guys, and these guys are not flying in there for free. That has to be paid by the IFBB. When I go into guest post at a show, that is paid by the promoter. The only person I think didn't make it because he had visa issues was Big Ramy, and his ass was
Mhm.
coming from Egypt. So who's paying for all those plane tickets? So that just tells you how much money these guys have.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I mean, and just also like this, Sarah was supposed to come, but then Sarah she has her own jet. Her husband they fly the little jet, but she didn't make it. The big question is Jake being there. Jake is the head of the Olympia, and still he's part of Wings of Strength. Do you think they would try to bring in women's bodybuilding back into the fold? Because they never had it women's bodybuilding at the Pittsburgh Pro before.
I would hope that they would. I mean, women's bodybuilding is struggling as it is now. I mean, I'm not on just on the local level, but on the national level. And I mean, you have these competitors on the pro level, but it's like you want to determine the health of a division. You go to the local level, as far as I'm concerned. You go to the very bottom rung, because the pro level only will continue to grow as long as there's new blood coming in from the local as well as the national level. And when you look at specifically here at NPC USA, I mean, the divisions are dying
Yep.
on the local level. I mean,
But you got to
I mean, I
Jake's
mean, the,
interest is well beyond the spectrum of women's bodybuilding now. It's just is, and I don't think, and unfortunately, I just don't think that I mean, I won't say he doesn't give two shits about it, but when you got Dan Solomon and other people in your ear about other things and talking bigger picture, I don't think that is, it's part of it. But like I said, and I agree with you, Art. It's sad that you brought a sport back to life, and then now you really don't care. I don't know if that's the right words. I don't want to say he doesn't care, but I think he's thinking bigger picture, bigger things as far as the sport is concerned, and women's bodybuilding isn't it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like also, have you noticed now on the local level that there are shows that are now pulling figure from their competitive lineups?
Yeah,
Not
which
just
is
not WPD, not WBB, but figure. There are like three shows now: San Jose Championships, the Utah Cup, and another one. They, for the first time ever, pulled figure from their lineups.
which
So
is
Wow.
insane because
even figures in trouble.
well, it's crazy because why would you do that when all the money and all the girls that compete in figure and wellness and bikini, that's a lot of damn girls. So why would you
Right.
do that? It just makes no sense.
Well, again, it goes
Yeah.
back to the same thing that's hurting WBB and WPD is like it's what they're rewarding on the pro level, the sort of thing that they're seeing there, and then women on the local level take a look at that and they say, "There's no way I can do that. There's no way
Yeah,
I'm going to be able to get up there." And so as a result, they say, "Well, why am I still here? Why am I still doing this? If there's basically no way in hell that I'm going to be able to get up to that level, or for that matter, they just simply don't want to do what's necessary to be able to get up to that level."
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
so
yeah. Well, one thing is, I just saw this morning. Uh, our girl, she did some guest poses, and that is my girlfriend. And Keith, he's gonna be doing some guest poses with her. I told Keith, keep your hands off her. Don't want you to touch her.
I'll be there this weekend.
She was guest posing at a show. Yeah,
I was
she
going to
was
tell
guest
you that.
posing at a
Yeah.
show. Yeah, and there it is, and it was she nice little pink little outfit. She had a little cowboy hat on. I mean, she's
Calm down,
cute.
George.
I'm calm. Okay, I'm just like she was and this is like now this is Andrea off season. She's not even. I don't know. She hasn't started her prep yet for the Olympia or the Rise of Phoenix yet. Even though she still looks pretty good. She said, I mean, I'm a fan. I can't help it.
We know you're a
I
fan,
mean,
George.
yeah,
That's what we were talking
I'm a
about.
fan.
We were talking about last week. We were talking about where the wedding is going to be, what the honeymoon was going to be, because as far as he's concerned, he's already married to her. So, but she doesn't know that at all. She doesn't even know they're in a relationship. But he's already planning
Yeah,
this. He's already planned this shit out already.
you know what I'm saying?
So,
Well, I'm sorry. I think she's an amazing woman, and
she is. She's an amazing competitor. Yeah.
I think she's really the woman who's been really she's a savior for women's bodybuilding. I'm gonna say that she's the one that
Absolutely.
really really helped the sport grow. Um, this is from a man. Uh, Money J says, "Where do you think Natalia Wolf will place at the Olympia? Probably depending who's gonna be there, she might not crack top 10. It's all depending who's because you got Marika, you have Waduka, who just won a qualification at the Romanian Muscle Fest. You have a couple other girls. She might can crack the top 10. She might probably be 12. I don't know. It's all depending who else is going to be at the show. Money. Um.
I know I'm going to
Let
be
me see.
savage for saying this, but
Yeah.
I stick by what I said last time. I think she's going to surprise people. She now just based upon what I'm seeing so far, maybe she may come in too hard because she really can get a super level of conditioning, and she's always been able to do that. But I think she's going to surprise people. I really do.
Yeah. She
So
might.
I so
Here we go. We got a comment from Jay that says, "It's never always the way it seems." All right. And always said this. He says, "It's only speculation." Yeah. Yeah. You know. Well, gentlemen, I would say like this: the Euro Pro was a pretty good show. We would not see any more women's bodybuilding until Toronto, which is next month. Um, you know, I'm going. If, I might watch the last show of that one too, because that's the first of the month. I have some money by then. Also, I think the same month is going to be also the show, the Imperial over in Spain. I don't, I might check that one out too. It's just mostly going to be. I hope we have a good lineup for women's bodybuilding. Because usually there's not so many women over there. Like you may have Julia Furray, there's Jay Fuchs, Virginia Sanchez, a couple others that might do that show. Since they don't have European championships anymore, we can only hope. This is from Roy. Hadn't seen him for a long time. Hey, Roy says my girl Ashley will be Olympia champ. I like Ashley, but she might be number two, so you have to settle for that. So,
Yeah,
uh,
you can't leave Angela out of the mix though.
yeah,
Because I mean,
can't.
you really can't because she, I mean, comes in that great conditioning. I mean, she's got all around. I mean, I don't think you can remove Angela out of the top mix at all. Even if you have someone like Hella or others who do come back and do this. I mean, I think you can't remove her out of the mix of a top three. You really can't.
No, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be like Hella. I'm following her. I think this might be her last Olympia. She might maybe push for one more try. Then I think because now she's working with Jay Fuchs and her and Gina and uh uh Irene Anderson. They got their whole thing going together. But I'm gonna shout out one lady who made her pro debut. She was a figure competitor. She was a figure competitor, but she switched to physique, and that is the lovely Mrs. Jessica Hofstetter. I will shout her out because she came in one day. We do a live, and we did like kind of a promptu interview because Art, you were there. We had it was going to be supposed to talk about another subject, but not everybody could make it, and she was there, and we had a conversation. And mostly, it was more like an interview, but I'm hoping maybe we can do a real interview, sometime soon. And I think she looked pretty good. I think that was a good move for her because I talked about how she's a little bit on the. She's not too tall to say. She's got good conditioning. I think depending maybe she may need maybe a little more time to stew a bit for physique.
Maybe. I mean, just from what I'm seeing there,
Yeah, this
she
is a
may need to put on maybe a little more size. Maybe. Um, and I think her conditioning is okay. Somebody else to give a shout out to is Dr. Autumn Swanson. She's going to be competing in WPD. I don't know how long it's been since she's been on the stage, but
well. She did.
she's going to be competing at Toronto in WPD as well. So it's going to be interesting if they're rewarding someone like Sharonica here at New York with that classic WPD look, which Autumn has as well. It's going to be really interesting what gets rewarded at Toronto.
Well, actually,
So
she competed last year in women's physique. I believe she did. I think she did either Omaha or let me pull it up. I think I know because I remember I saw because Glenn, not Glenn, David over at you know, Female Bible Channel interviewed her. You can see there we go. No, here we go. And I know she competed last year, and this was at the she did St. Louis. This is from St. Louis.
okay.
Yeah, and she does have that. She was doing figure for a good bit. She does have that classic look like Julia McCarr or Mandy O'Brien, a couple of ladies who are on back of my head because, like I said, for a while I didn't really follow physique that much because, like I said, I always considered water down women's bodybuilding, and but there's a possibility she might, because this is where she competed. I think she last competed as a physique competitor back in this is I believe 2014 Olympia,
Yeah,
and
she's
then
it's been a while. I think she's, but I'm glad to see that she's coming back to WPD. It's just going to be interesting based off of this show. I know you can't compare shows because it's just going to come down to what the lineup is there. But since she has that and she has maintained that classic WPD look, it's going to be interesting to see after this show at the New York Pro whether or not they're going to continue rewarding that look at other shows like Toronto.
mhm. This is from when Roy says, he says this, Angela is a lovely woman, but Ashley is otherworldly. She beat her easily. You probably do. And also, this is from Roy again. Says Bob said it clear. They will change the criteria. All the big girls, Natalia, Sarah, Barbara, all going women's bodybuilding. Well, like I said, I doubt it because Natalia. She didn't fight. Where Natalia's looking, yeah, she could do well in women's bodybuilding, but she's been fighting it. She don't want to go over. It's like remember Keith told us how he's talking about Julie McCarr was she had to really train less because she was getting bigger, and and then she decided to step away because she had a daughter now. She got pregnant a few years ago, and she wanted to become a mom. She stepped away from that. This from Money J says, big Arnold Swanson fan. So congratulations, big fan. So
Now wait,
so
Drew, the guy said Bob said it clear. Is this Bob Chick we're talking about?
oh, Bobby Chick, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
he's talking about Bobby. Bobby Chick. A lot of people you might know him. He does a lot of the announcers, and also he
Oh
works
yeah,
backstage.
he's been. Oh yeah, been involved very long time. Competitor in his own right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. One person who is usually his hanging buddy is Isabel Terrell.
yeah.
Isabel. She competed back in 2022. I got the pleasure to see her. She was actually. I was at Savannah. She was like after the stage. She was sitting right in front, and probably wanted to say, "Hey, how you doing?" But I didn't want to bother her. I just but I kind of regret not saying anything. But there was one lady who was there also, Amy Richardson. She was at a booth, and I should have talked to her before she passed. So she I think they said she was going to switch over to women's bodybuilding the year before in 2020 to 2023, but then she caught pneumonia and she died. I think she had a great physique. I think probably potential. She probably done well. So that was the New York Pro. I would say congratulations to both Marika. I mean, sorry, Marika didn't win. Sorry, to Sharonica and also to Ashley and all the other competitors who competed at the show. It was like I said, one of the few shows that still had women's bodybuilding. I wish more shows give it a chance because you know what, the women now in physique are getting too close to women's bodybuilding, and I think you just when you hitting that ceiling, only choice is to either you want to go up and go past the ceiling, or you just want to go back down. You feel like you're getting too much close to women's bodybuilding, then cut back in your training. See that you start getting those aesthetics where you get bigger, more those muscle bellies, getting more size. You have to, and though also the judge critique is very important to competitors, but sometimes take it like a grain of salt, putting your hands over your shoulder, keep on moving. We got here. We let Roy go here. It says, Latalia got mad at me last week for associating her with her women's physique, women's bodybuilding. I mean, I said don't want to get in trouble with her and Andrea anymore. Well, like I said, hey, that's their problem. She knows that she's getting too close aesthetically to women's bodybuilding.
Who is that?
I think it's talking Natalia Abraham Cuejo.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she's getting too close. She's, like I said, she's getting bigger and bigger. I remember a friend of mine. They both live in Miami. They were at an event, and she saw Natalia. She known Natalia for a long time, and she getting realize how big she has gotten. And
Yeah, but then it comes back to look at all the shows she's winning. Look at the placings that she's getting. I mean, none of these top women would have looked the way that they did if they were getting rewarded for it. Over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, it comes back to that disconnect between the powers that be and the judges that are there on contest day. Because they're still saying, oh, well, we don't want people ripped and strided. And they still have that damn criteria posted over there that is so out of date now. Because all of the top women are matching all of the words that they don't want associated with WPD. So it's like, as long as they keep rewarding this look, as long as they keep rewarding women like Natalia and Sarah, I mean, what do they think is going to happen? All the other girls are going to follow them. They're the torchbearers. So as long as they continue to get the top spots, that's how this division is going to look. So it's like something's got to change. Either you got to start clamping down on the judging and say, hey, no more of this, which maybe they are doing, like Keith said, maybe they're doing that with someone like Sharonica winning this show. Who knows? But it gets back to that age old question. It's like they're saying one thing, but they're doing another. And as long as that continues to happen, I mean, what do they think the women are going to do? So
Yeah, it's called follow the leader. You're gonna follow the leader.
right,
You know,
exactly.
people want chasing after Andrea. You got people like Ashley and Angela and a couple others. Mela Ash, she was pretty good, but I think Mela, I think she might be competing this year because I know she's doing the Rising. I would say take the year off because you hit your peak. Your peak was back in 2020, and now after a while, you're starting to really kind of, I think she's like, I think Jada said like this. Sometimes it takes her to the third show before she really gets in good condition. And I think that's kind of like with Mila. I think she did pretty good in Atlanta. She didn't do as good as she was because she took second the year before at Rising, and then the Olympia, she didn't even crack the top five. I think she was number seven, number eight. Because I think Julia West was number 10, and I think after that was Rashana, and then I think it was, and Sherry Priyami, who took that fourth place. I mean, beating out maybe Natalia and Michaela. I think you look for a particular look. We got here. This is from I said Zach Raimondo. I think that's what we're trying to say. It's all the judges' fault. Well, like I said, people say don't blame the judges, but like I said, they're the ones who supposed to follow the criteria of the shows. We're supposed to look like a certain way, but they keep changing midstream. We got one for Roy, and we're head out. It says Mela needs to stop competing. The gut is looking distended. Need to take a break, and I think she should do that. I think she should have did it because she got into a car wreck just after she came back from Romania last year. She's one of the few women that went overseas via the show. I mean, she did the year before. She went to Romania, then didn't. Well, no, she didn't. I think 2022 went to Romania. She took third because that's when Blanca took second, and Nadia Capasotto. Also, Nadia Capasotto is coming back.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a surprise. I thought she was gone.
Well, like I said, she has some medical issues. She didn't do the 2022 Olympia because she wasn't. She was doing some medical stuff. She had some medical issues. And she took a step back. I think she probably just need that year to really recover. I think sometimes ladies, the stuff they take, the things you got to do, and women's body chemistry is totally different from men. And she needed that time to go. I think Nadia is going to win that show. A lady who I'm good friends with, who I'm really cool with, that is Melly Hoyt. She's competing in that show. That's in her backyard, Canada. I think maybe Tana might do the show too. I'm a fan of Tana. She hadn't told me if she is or not. She might because she's done it before. I wish she did it the year before because she could have done pretty good, but she decided to skip that one year because she had enough points. She probably would come for the Olympia. But we're just gonna wait to see. Like I said, I think the Toronto is in about 2 more weeks, and then you have this weekend. You have the Ultimate Classic, and also that's it. I mean, and that show doesn't have a pay-per-view because I think the guy who runs it, Jack Tony, will do pay-per-views. Not the Ultima, not the Omaha, not the St. Louis, or not the another show.
That really blows my mind that there will be promoters in this day and age with streaming technology and internet technology that don't take advantage of that as a potential moneymaker. That's just a real shock to me.
And that's
there'll be people who don't do. It's like you say, okay, if you're struggling financially, but do you have a webcast? Oh no, we don't do that. What? There's your answer. There's your answer.
You're probably losing maybe about $1,000 or more, maybe a couple $1,000s or more, depending how many people, how much you charge. You're losing out. If he charges like, okay, let's say he charges like $20 for his live stream. That's not too expensive. Because what I did was for the Europe Pro, I bought it early. It was like $19.95 plus tax. So that's like a little over $20. Jada sent me some money because she wanted to watch it, and I was going to send her the copy, but the problem was they won't let you use the code unless it's the same, you can't share it. But I did take some pictures and send her some stuff because she wanted to see what certain divisions. I didn't, like I said, I don't care too much about men's bodybuilding. I don't care anything about the other divisions. Therefore, I did watch figure. There's one young lady, her name is Kylie Bowman, and she just took fourth in women's figure. And the one lady who won the show 4 times. She's one of the few women come back and defend her title in that division, in that show. Other than because the last ever since they brought back women's bodybuilding to the New York Pro, no champions had defended the title. Not Mela, not Leah Denny, not Donna Salib or Natalia. Most times you do get the person to come back to want to defend their title, but next year maybe I know Donna, she's taking some time off because she wanted to just recover. Maybe we might see, and I think next year I think Leah Denny might retire. I don't think she's competing anymore. She's she works, she has a job, she has her kids, and one with certain special needs, and I'm surprised Italian do the show, but like I said, I'm with Monday J. If the Italian does show, Ashley will beat her hands down. We got here from Roy says, Mala told me Mo Better is coming. Watch out. Also, this is for Monday. Ashley, uh, Mela Ash still got gas in the tank to, still compete. Don't see her stopping anytime soon. Well, I don't say stop. Just take a break. You know, maybe put on a little size, more conditioning. Fix the thing. She's a good poser. I love her physique. I'm a fan of Mela. I've been in contact with her before. But maybe take the time to really to rest, maybe recover and work on a few things. Also, this is from Roy says, if we had resources and connections like most of those promoters, we would have done a way better job. Yeah, and it's not that hard. You just reach out to the people. What's it like? Maybe you can get some kid who's some audio video kid who knows how to hook it up, set it up.
Right,
That would
exactly.
yeah.
The kids, it's like the church that I grew up in. They do streaming stuff online. They had a lot of impressive equipment, at least from my perspective of it, in order to be able to do it. But their entire AV department is run by teenagers. The whole thing. I'm not going to lie. They do a better job with their church services than some of these webcasters do. Than some of these, it's like it's not just the lack of the podcast itself, but it's also the quality of it. I look at some of these pay-per-views that they're charging this money for, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
Why is there no HD or Ultra HD, 2K, 4K, 8K options? Why are those not there? Maybe that's a money issue or such like that. But it's like, it's like a fixed camera and they don't follow along. They don't zoom in. They don't do anything like that. I'm like, guys, come on. If a teenager is able to do this and they're doing it for free, it's like, but you guys, they're supposed to be the professional group and they can't do this with a pay-per-view event? So,
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. Just you can go to your local college. You get a couple of kids who work. Hey, where's the AV club for here? Oh, here, we'll give you like maybe $5 a piece. You set everything up. We get all the equipment. We set everything up, hook it up. We do test runs, yeah. And if it looks good, we're golden. That's what But I think this guy Jack Tone, I've heard some stuff about him. He's not. That's why Jake severed his deal with him when they were doing the Omaha. And it's just
I've met Jack. I've met Jack and Ann in person. This was a
mhm.
very very long time ago. They seem like a very nice couple, at least to me. So I haven't heard about any of this. What was it that what happened between them, between Jack and Jake? Was there like a
I,
falling out? What was the
I think
rumor about
it
it?
was for because they feel like there wasn't enough women coming for women's bodybuilding at the shows. You have to pay like that sanction fee of $25,000, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what probably the thing was. He was supportive, but it just I don't know. It's just some stuff people tell me here and there. Some stuff I remember, some stuff I hear, but and sometimes I don't want to spill too much of the beans. You know how it is. This is we're going. Roy just says Ash, Ashley and Lavinia brought a lot of attention to women's bodybuilding. Things are going to be great for women's bodybuilding. Yes, and like I said, yeah, I hope it does. Maybe like I said, as I said earlier, um, you know, Tyler Mannion announced that the Pittsburgh Pro is going to be like a extravaganza. It's going to be like a expo, kind of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. and Jake was there. He's the promoter. He promotes the Olympia. But I hope Jake do is he still is part, even though he's maybe not as his hands is not as much in women's bodybuilding like he used to be, but he can probably talk to Jim, say, hey Jim, maybe let's bring women's bodybuilding to the show. We're bringing some great top level competitors. The rest will come. This would be a great, I think one thing also you got to give these competitors time to really to get themselves in condition, get ready, because it takes a long time, especially for the women. That's why it's so easier for shows like Bikini, Men's Classic, and Men's Physique and Wellness to have quick shows because they don't have to be as in that putting that size and condition compared to the other divisions. And you got to remember also the women's division makes up 6%. As I was listening to one podcast a while back, that was
Femflex Friday.
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah,
yeah. I also heard it. Yeah, yeah. That I also remember when I saw a podcast with Eunice and Lisa Sagan, who I interviewed a while back. They mentioned also that the women make this because you only going to have 4 men's divisions, but you have 6 women's divisions, and the largest is bikini and wellness, and even figure. And you mentioned figure. I mean, it's crazy. Figure get pushed out, but like I said, the women, if you look at now, are some of the women get closer to maybe early women's physique. Then I remember Jessica, who I just mentioned. Jessica, she earned a pro card as a figure competitor. Now she's doing physique, but she just needs a little more time to stew a bit. I think maybe take this next year off, or just take the rest of this year off. Maybe come in next year and maybe do a show and see how you do. But she looked pretty good at New York. I would say that.
Yeah, the reason why this is just my humble opinion is that one of the main factors as to why you are seeing this blurring of the lines is because that's what's happening on the local level. And I mean, it is a money grab on the part of the promoters because they're saying, oh, well, you can do divisional crossovers. You can compete at both figure and WPD, or for the shows that do have it, you can compete in WPD and WBB, and there are shows where they are winning both divisions, which they shouldn't be able to do. I mean, based on the way that it's designed, the whole reason we have the word division is to divide, to separate. But when you've got one girl bringing one physique, you should not be able to win 2 separate divisions with just one physique, because each division supposedly has a separate line of criteria that's supposed to result in a different look. So how can somebody compete in 2 divisions with the same physique? Because you would either be too big for the one and not big enough for the other. So how is it somebody is able to win? And then on top of that, also you go to national qualifiers, it's the same thing. I saw, where was this? I don't know if it was here or it was in another country. There's a girl there with her 3 pro cards. 3 that she won at one show. So it's not just on the local level. You're capable of winning multiple pro cards at a show. As long as we keep doing this, as long as we keep allowing it, and again, it's a money grab because that means another competitor fee that they have to pay. So of course they're going to go that route. They're going to try and maximize their profits. But I think that's what's helping do it, is that one person should not be able to win in 2 separate divisions at the same show. And it's happening all the time. And I think that's one of the big contributors to that.
I interviewed a while back a lady who was at the 2022 Mermaid Muscle Fest. She won her pro card, both with bodybuilding and physique, as an amateur. This lady from Russia, it's at the Marine Muscle Fest. She did it also, and she made a debut in women's physique. And I know it's a money grab.
It is.
If you're like, I interviewed a couple of ladies who just did nationals, and one lady was competing in figure, and then she was competing in wellness, but she earned a pro card as a figure competitor. And you see it, women both can figure in physique, and earned a pro card in both. One woman won overall title as a figure competitor. We're gonna leave the last word for my man Droy says Iris is coming back. No, she's done.
She's
Iris
not.
Is another great promoter. No,
she's in coaching now.
Because she's working with us
now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's working with Arsenio Barrito, and The big question is how Arsenio. I don't know. She might top. She got. I would say like this. I would say like she got lucky getting top three at that show. At the
Hmm.
because you don't have Hella, you don't have Margie anymore. Uh, Bronca didn't compete. I think Bronca said she retired, but I think Bronca should have been that year before 2022. She should have been top three because I think she was better conditioned than Hella. I don't, Hella doesn't worry about because she's a former two-time Ride Phoenix champion. She gets a pass. She can compete as long as she wants. But
Hmm.
I feel like Hella might be retiring. This might be her last year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, folks, I appreciate y'all for coming through. This was a great conversation. I appreciate Roy for coming through. My man, Money J 2023. Also, can't forget Stephen Prey and Raheem Hamilton. The lovely Miss Jada Beverly. As you know, she's switching over to wellness.
Yep.
And and I think I might work for it. Also, Lawrence Perkins, and and the rest of you were here. Shout out to my man KL the Wanderer. Thank you for coming through, brother. He missed the good part where the good part of the finals. So that was the women's bodybuilding, women's physique. But he had a good time. I'm glad he went there because I told him there's a show in New Jersey called Universe where you get your pro card. I would say check that out. It won't cost as much, and if you're not working that day, you get to meet some women on there who are their boots in the ground. Um, this is one from Roy says, "Trust is trust is me. She is trust me. I'm talking with Tiago. He said she's thinking about it. Well, like I said,
Well, thinking about it's not the same as doing it.
yeah.
So,
And I think with Iris
so
now, she had her time.
yeah.
I think she's probably moved on. She's doing things. I think Iris make a good promoter. I think if somebody back her, put some money behind her name, and put a show behind her name. There's a lot of like she's out there in Vegas. Get a show somewhere. You can't do it in Vegas; it's too expensive.
She
I would
actually is. She actually is promoting a show in
President
Japan.
Japan.
In Japan as an
Yeah,
amateur show.
yeah.
So
But I would say like this: they do a show in Reno. That's the Legion Sports Fest. Reno's a little cheaper than Vegas. Even they call it a little big. One of the it's like it's Vegas-ish, but it's like poor man's Vegas. But it'd probably be cheaper to do a venue than do it in Vegas. I would say do Reno or Carson City. I think where's another place? Some place where the venue won't be as cost you much. You can do both pro am because the amateurs got to pay, and that money can use it to help with prize money, and also if you get some people to back you, like Wings of Strength. Shout out to Eunice with Bad Rap. A couple other companies that want to back someone like Iris Kyla, 10 times Olympia, the most records for Olympia titles. Yes, it's a woman, but yes, she has more than Lonnie, two more than Lonnie, and but
yeah,
I
I'm
would
gonna
say
head
yeah,
out.
she should do that. I
So
mean, yeah,
yeah, I'm
appreciate
gonna
it.
head
Thank
out.
you, Art,
So
and good luck to you.
yeah,
Appreciate you, folks. I'd like to thank y'all for coming through. Share, comment, subscribe to my channel. Follow us on social media. My man Art, he's on YouTube too. Follow him. Hope we can see do some more interviews in the future. And shout out to my KL. He just interviewed Tracy Guile last night. You can go over to his channel, watch him. Shout out to my man Big Keith. And shout out to all you who were here. We appreciate your support. Thank you for coming here and watching and listening. Congratulations again to Ashley Jones. Congratulations to Sharonica Hinton and all the other competitors that won their Olympic qualification for at New York Pro. We'll can't wait to see the rest of the season, how it could turn out. Like I said, it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. So, excuse me. Anyway, folks, this is me, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Have a good evening and a good night.